Hello, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ito ay extension po ng aking lesson po kanina na ginawa na piecewise functions problems. Ngayon naman, we will be graphing some piecewise functions. And the given function for number 1 is f of x equals negative 2x minus 1 if x is less than or equal to 2, and negative x plus 4 if x is greater than 2. Ito medyo mabilis lang kasi they are both linear functions. Linear functions, ibig sabihin, puro lines lang yung ating i-expect na graph dito. Okay? Sa mga di pa gaanong marunong mag-graph ng gantong function, I will make it sure that you will be able to understand it well. Okay? Okay, una sa lahat, gusto kong tignan nyo muna yung ating mga boundaries. So, the boundaries would be at positive 2. Ibig sabihin, dito yung ating boundaries mamaya. Diyan. Ang sabi diyan, you will graph negative 2x minus 1. Saan daw? Sa x is less than or equal to 2. Ibig sabihin, you will graph it dito. Because these x values are less than or equal to 2. And then this will be for negative 2x minus 1. And then you will be graphing negative x plus 4 daw sa domain na x is greater than 2. Ibig sabihin, greater than 2, so mas malaki sa 2. Ibig sabihin, sa right side naman siya. So we will be expecting that the graph of negative x plus 4 will be contained on the right side of 2. Okay? O gusto ko lang malaman nyo kung saan tayo mamaya mag-graph. Okay? So let's now start graphing the function. Okay, let's start with negative 2x minus 1. Okay. You can make table of values para mas mabilis kung gusto nyo. Okay. X, y. So, sabi dito, x is less than or equal to 2. Lagi tayo mag-uumpisa po sa ating boundary. Yung boundary ay yung 2 natin. So, 2. Sabi dyan, less than 2 and 1 or 0. Let's say 0. Gamit ka lang ng dalawang points ng dalawang x values kasi line naman siya, di ba? And dalawang points, makakagawa tayo ng line. Okay? So, ano kaya yung mga y values natin dyan? So, negative 2, kunin lang natin itong function. Negative 2 times 2, okay, minus 1. So, negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, minus 1 is equal to negative 5. Okay. At x equals 0 naman. So, negative 2 times 0, okay, minus 1. So, 0 minus 1 equals negative 1. So, negative 1. So, meron tayong dalawang points, di ba? So, at 2, negative 5 and 0, negative 1. Nasaan kaya yung 2, negative 5 na yun? So, 2, so x is 2 and then negative 5 yung ating y. So, ito yung kanilang intersection. Okay? But, we're going to use solid dot here kasi kasama yung 2 sa ating domain restriction. Yan yung ating first point at 2, negative 5. Yung isang point naman natin ay 0, negative 1. Asa ng 0? Syempre sa gitna, origin. 0, and then negative 1, it's somewhere here. So that point is at point 0, negative 1. So, less than or equal to negative 2, ibig sabihin, yung graph natin ay dapat nasa left side lang din siya. Gusto kong gawin to ng mas perfect pa as possible para kitang-kita natin yung ang graph. Okay. Okay, this will be our graph. So, nakita naman natin na nag-graph ko siya gamit yung x is less than or equal to 2. Yan yung ating first function. Okay? This is negative 2x minus 1. Ngayon naman, we will be graphing the second condition, which is negative x plus 4. Okay. If you want to copy this one, you just copy and pause it, and then proceed to the next one. Resume it later on. Okay. Sabunayin lang natin para malinis lang siya. Okay. Alright. The next one is negative x plus 4. And we will graph that at x is greater than 2. So, it's also a line. So, kailangan mo lang ng dalawang points dito. 'Di ba? So, pwede akong gumawa ng table of values para kitang-kita mo yung dalawang points na kakailanganin mo. 'Di ba? So, x is greater than 2, I should say. Greater than 2. So, we always start with the boundary. Kahit pa greater 2 lang siya. Hindi ka pwede mag-umpisa ng 3. Kasi pagka nag-umpisa ka ng 3, asan napunta yung 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 hanggang 2.9999, di ba? So, we always have to start with the boundary itself. It's 2. So, 2, let's say 1. Greater than 2, di ba? Sige, 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are both greater than, 3 is greater than 2. Okay, but we always have to start with the boundary 2. Okay, negative of 2 plus 4. So, ulitin ko lang yung ginawa natin kanina. So, I'm just going to change the value of x as 2. And then, that's negative times 2 is negative 2 plus 4 equals positive 2. Okay. The next one would be at x equals 3. So, negative of 3 plus 4. So, negative 3 plus 4 is equal to positive 1. So, 1. Okay. Ngayon, pansinin natin yung x is greater than 2. Dito, hindi kasama yung 2 sa ating domains. Diba? So, mamaya, pagka ipa-plot natin yung 2, 2, gagamit tayo ng open circle. Okay? Ibig sabihin, hindi kasama yung 2 doon. Pero kailangan siya sa graphing. So, 2, 2. So, it's somewhere here. There. Yan yung difference nung kaninang condition. Kasi may equal sign siya. Okay? X is greater or equal to 2. Kaya, ang ginamit natin ay solid point or solid circle. Dito naman sa pangalawang condition, dahil hindi naman kasama yung 2, greater than 2 kasi siya, so gagamit tayo ng hollowed point, okay, or open point. Okay, next. The next point would be at 3, 1. Asan yung 3, 1 na yan? Okay, 3, 1 is somewhere, that's 3, and this is 1, so it's somewhere here. Okay, i-label natin yung point para kitang-kita. 2, 2. And then this point is at 3, 1. Okay, dahil line siya, gagamit lang tayo ng ruler to graph it. And then you're good to go. Okay. Alright. So this one is the graph of negative x plus 4. Di ba nag-graph ko siya sa domain na greater than 2? Ayan siya. And then nag-graph ko naman yung isa gamit yung domain na x is less than or equal to 2. Dito naman siya. Di ba? Okay, so yan yung ating first example. Okay, kailangan pa natin ng isa pang example para mas lalong solid yung ating understanding on how to graph this. Okay, medyo madali lang siguro ito, pero sige, graph natin to. Okay. Okay, the first one, hindi ko kita. Negative 4 daw siya. And you will graph that at x is less than or equal to negative 2. Okay. So, yung ating boundary ay nasa negative 2. So, if x is negative 2, your y is negative 4. So, negative 2, negative 4. Gagamit tayo dito ng solid. So, that's negative 4, negative 2. Ang sabi dyan, x is less than or equal to negative 2. So, ibig sabihin, nasa left side lahat yung ating graph. Ang lakas naman ng motor. Sorry dun ah. Ayan. Ayan. Oops, sorry. Yan yung graph ng una. Kasi lahat ng y daw ay negative 4. Kahit pa kunin mo dyan negative 1 million, ang y pa rin ay negative 4. Kasi wala lamang variable doon sa una. Yung pangalawang condition naman is x minus 2. X minus 2. Okay? And you will be graphing that at x is greater than negative 2 but less than 2. Okay. Dahil line lang siya, kailangan mo lang ng dalawang points to graph it. Which is, kunin mo na lang yung dalawang boundaries na nandito para mabilis kang makakuha ng sagot. Okay? So, xy at x equals negative 2 and positive 2. So, what is, okay, negative of negative 2 minus 2. So, negative of negative is positive. So, positive 2 minus 2. And you will get 0. So, 0. And then, at x equals 2, so, wait lang, bakit may negative? Bakit may nilagay akong negative dito? Dali lang po ah. Wala palang negative dyan, sorry po. Okay, so it's still negative 2. So, negative 2 minus 2 is equal to negative 4. Pasensya na po. Ayan, negative 4. Ayan. So, yung pangalawang x value naman natin ay positive 2. So, 2 minus 2 equals 0. So, at x equals 2, your y is equal to 0. Pero dahil hindi naman kasama yung negative 2 at 2 sa ating domain restriction, dahil wala namang equal sign sa kanila, so gagamit tayo ng hollowed point. So parehas silang hollowed point dito. So if x is negative 2, y is negative 4. Gamit tayo ng bagong kulay. Negative 2, ano ulit yun? Negative 2, negative 4. So negative 2, negative 4. Hollowed yan. Pero dati na siyang solid. So, it's still a solid. And then, at 2, 0. 2, 0. Dito siya. Okay, so, we will just connect the 2 points. And then, that's it. Okay, gamit tayo ng ruler para mas magandang tignan. Ayan. Ayan po yung graph ng ating pangalawang function. It's only a line. So, mga mabilis lang muna yung ating gagawin para gets natin yung mga mas mahirap pa. Diba? Okay. Yung pangatlong condition ay negative 2x plus 4. And you will graph that at x is greater than or equal to 2. Okay? So, greater than 2. So, bilang line lang naman siya. Hindi ba? Line lang naman siya. So, kailangan mo lang dalawang points. So, xy, of course, you always start with the boundary itself to, say, 2, 3. Para mapilis makuha yung sagot. So, at negative 2, ito pala yung may negative. Okay, negative 2 times 2, your x value, plus 4 equals 0. Diba? Kasi negative 2 times 2 is negative 4 plus 4 equals 0. Okay. At x equals 3 naman. So, negative 2 times 3 plus 4. And this is negative 6. Kasi negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. plus 4 equals negative 2. So at x equals at x equals 3, your y is negative 2. Okay? So we're now ready to plot the 2 points. Yung unang point ay 2, 0. Dito gagamit tayo ng solid kasi kasama na siya. Equal na siya. Equal to 2 na siya. So, at 2, 0, still 2, 0. Napunan ko siya dahil dun. Ayan. 2, 0. And then, 3, negative 2. 3, then negative 2 somewhere here. So, ito. Solid pa rin. Kasi lahat dun kasama na. Okay. And then, we're going to just connect the 2 points and that's it. Ito yung ating graph sa ating pangalawang function. Okay. So this would be the graph of number 2. At may isa pa tayong problem. Ayan. The next one is a little bit complicated kasi I have here exponential function, yung negative 2 raised to x. Then meron tayong absolute value function. And then meron tayong quadratic function, yung pangatlong condition. Okay. Before anything else, kailangan muna nating malaman kung ano yung itsura ng exponential function. Ang 2 raised to x, ganito yung itsura niya. Ganyan siya. At meron siyang y-intercept sa 0, 1. Pero dahil meron siyang negative sa unahan, ibig sabihin, magkakaroon tayo ng reflection sa x-axis. Ibig sabihin, mag-rotate lang, mag-flip siya dito. Okay? Ang mangyayari, ang magiging graph ng function ngayon ay parang ganito. There's a reflection. Basta may negative sa unahan. Ganyan siya. So, ito yung itsura ng graph mismo ng negative 2 raised to x. Okay? Ito ay 0, negative 1. So, bali, tanggalin ko na to para hindi kayo malito. Yan. Yan yung graph ng negative 2 raised to x. Ngayon, saan mo siya gustong i-graph? Ang sabi sa condition, i-graph mo lang daw siya sa less than negative 4. Asan ba ang negative 4 na yan? So, it's somewhere here. Okay? Ano kaya yung x value dito? Kung ito yung graph mo, asan yung negative 4? It's somewhere here. Kunyari ito. Ano kaya yung value ng y? So, at x equals negative 4, ano kaya yung y? So, negative 2 raised to negative 4. Dahil negative ang exponent niya, kailangan mo siyang ibaba. Okay? So, negative 1 over 2 raised to 4. Ano ba ang 2 raised to 4? 1 over 16. So, negative 1 over 16. Tama ba ako? 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8 times 2, 16. Tama. Okay. So, negative 1 over 16. So, kailangan mo siyang i-graph mula dito hanggang sa left side na. So kokopehin lang natin yan. So, negative 4. Asan kaya yung negative 1 over 16? At negative 4, kasama ba yung ating negative 4 sa domain? Hindi, no? Kasi, okay, less than negative 4 daw siya. Ibig sabihin, you're going to use hallowed point again. Let's say, andito yung negative. Okay. I-ano natin yan? I-plot natin. So, negative 4, then negative 1 over 16. Okay. And then the graph looks like this. Yan. Yan yung graph ng ating first function, yung exponential function. Yung pangalawang function naman natin ay absolute value function. So, nagbigay na siya ng dalawang condition at x equals, if your x is greater or equal to negative 4 but less than or equal to 0. Okay. Ano kaya yung x dito? Okay. xy. Okay. Let's say we have negative of absolute value of negative 4. Again, we're going to use the boundaries itself. Okay? So, the absolute value of Ano ba yung absolute value ng negative 4? Di ba positive 4? Okay, what is negative of 4? It's negative 4. So, at negative 4 din siya. What about at x equals 0? Negative of the absolute value of 0. So, negative of, what is the absolute value of 0? It's also 0. So, it's still 0. So, at 0, 0. Okay, now, dahil meron ng equal sign dito, kitang-kita nyo yan, ibig sabihin, kasama na ulit silang dalawa sa ating domains. Kaya, gagamit tayo ng solid circle or solid dot. Okay? Gamit tayo ng ibang kulay. So, at negative 4, y is negative 4. Negative 4, negative 4. Dito siya. Okay, negative 4, negative 4. Now, at x equals 0, it's also 0, 0. So, nasa origin siya. Point of origin. Dito siya. Okay, sana nagigets niyo yung mga sinasabi ko. Ayan. Let's just connect them. Ayan. Okay, 0, 0. Now, yung last naman na function na ginamit ay quadratic, no? So, 4 minus x squared. So, okay. Kung kailangan yung kopyahin, you can pause the video and just resume it kapag natapos kayong magsulat. Para may reference kayo. Okay? Yung next naman na function ay quadratic function. Okay? Alright. Yan ay 4 minus x squared. Okay? Pwede mo rin siyang isulat na negative x squared plus 4. Okay? At i-graph mo daw siya saan? Where x is greater than 0. Okay. So, dahil quadratic function siya, ito yung itsura ng quadratic function. Dahil meron siyang y-intercept sa 4, dito siya, and then the graph would look like this. It opens downward kasi meron siyang negative uli. Diba? Diba kanina sabi ko, kapag may negative sa unahan, mag-flip siya over the x-axis. Kasi pag quadratic function, ganito yung itsura niya. Diba? Ganyan siya. Pero dahil merong negative sa unahan, kailangan niyang mag-vertical reflection. So, kaya nag-open downward. Okay? Alright. So, ano kaya yung mga points dito? Ito ay 2, 0. Ito ay negative 2, 0. Tama ba? Kasi pag ginawa mong 2 ito, so negative of 2 squared plus 4, ano ba ang negative of 4? So, negative 4 plus 4 equals 0. So, at x equals 2, your y is 0. So, kaya 2, 0 ito. Ganon din sa negative, di ba? So, negative of negative 2 squared plus 4. The square of negative 2 is 4, positive 4. May negative sa unahan, so negative 4. Negative 4 plus 4 is also 0. So, ganyan yung itsura ng ating graph kapag buo yung graph na ating gagawin. Pero dahil sabi ng condition, i-graph mo lang daw siya sa greater than 0, yun ang ating susundin. Okay? So, yung first point ay 0, 4. Nasa 0, 4 siya. Kasi y-intercept yun. If x is 0, y is 4. Diba? So, 0, 4. Gamit tayo ng ibang kulay uli. So, 0, 4. Gamit tayo ng hollowed or solid. Siyempre, hollowed. Kasi, hindi naman kasama yung 0 sa ating domain restrictions. Ngayon, meron tayong isang x-intercept sa 2, 2, 0. So, the graph now looks like this. Ayan. Okay. Yan po yung graph ng ating pangatlong function. Kung meron pa po kayong katanungan, you may just write it on the comment section. And I will try my best to answer all of those questions if I have time. Okay? Maraming salamat po at sana'y meron kayong natutunan ngayong araw sa akin. Have a good day. Bye!